Ole Miss survived the LSU shenanigans on transfer portal deadline day eve to have a really good day. And that credit goes to Walker Jones and the entire Grow Collective and the Ole Miss staff. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Let's talk to the mayor of Corinth and find out what's going on.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, the most watched Ole Miss podcast out there. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media with Yahoo Sports and a former Ole Miss staff member as well. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the number one sports podcast network in the world. That's all because of you. Thank you so much. On today's show, we're going to talk about the surprise commitments that Ole Miss got, the heartbreaking potential, players leaving as the portal came to a close. But next, we will also talk about Trinidad's lawsuit being filed and what that means for Ole Miss moving forward, because it does mean more than just Trinidad being eligible. But first, we're going to start with the real lack of oomph from all of the stuff after LSU did all of their shenanigans on Thursday night, and it was big. It was legit. Friday was just kind of nondescript. Now, there was big offers made, cars thrown out, all of that stuff to try one last time to get them in the portal. They didn't do it, and that is worth remembering. All this and more on today's Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Remember, we're free and available on the podcast apps and on YouTube, and a special hello to the insiders and everydayers who make the show what it is, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The college football playoff is here, and FanDuel is the best place to get in on the action all playoff long. So visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff profit boost every game day. So I'm going to be here with the mayor of Corinth, Tom Vanderford, and we're going to talk about the weekend that is. Tom, one thing that's interesting, after Thursday night, and Thursday night was stupid, what was going on. You thought something really major was about to happen with the way they were attacking. That never materialized. There wasn't any real oomph. Now, there was a couple of players that defected, but it was more like a Jerry Maguire, who's coming with me, than somebody walking out in mass looking like Matt Campbell or somebody else.
Right. Yeah. I was okay with it. We lost a lineman that man got to play a little bit this year, and we lost TJ, and we don't know about Princely yet, but
I think they're going to eventually lose Princely. I think they're going to pay the buyout. That I'm just counting Prince Will, not Princely. Will is gone.
Yeah, and that's fine when you look at who we picked up.
Yeah.
In the portal. I think we're going to be, as a matter of fact, I think we're going to be better on defense next year than we were this year. Our secondary is going to be better. We'll just have to see how the linebackers perform, but that D-line's deep, man.
Yeah, that D-line, it could be special, and it legitimately could, and whoever plays linebacker is going to be the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Now, the rumor is after the TJ went off, to Baton Rouge, that I think his name is Luke Fernelli. If I got that mispronounced, I apologize. I will get that right by the time you're available. It looks like that's kind of a done deal. It was Chuck Rounsaville at the Ole Miss Spirit on 3 talking about that is well down the road. And if it's him and if it's Keaton Thomas, the linebacker position with that defensive line, you're going to be fine. It's kind of a wash.
Yeah, I agree. The kid got ACC freshman of the year, defensive freshman of the year, and he's a tackling machine. The kid at Georgia Tech that we got, if you look at his film, he's a freaking tackling machine. So, and that's what we need. Nothing against TJ. I love him, and he's a tackling machine, but sometimes he would pick the wrong hole, and, well, nobody's perfect. I wish him well. I wish all the folks that left well.
Yeah, and for people that watched the show and everything, they heard what my opinion was on all of the tampering stuff that happened on Thursday night and what I felt about that. And I mean every single word about that. And they're going to say, hey, Steve, how can you be okay with Ole Miss doing the same thing at a player of Clemson? Isn't that hypocritical? Yes, it absolutely is. But this is the thing. If this rule, I do not expect anything to come from LSU and what they did, even though it should. I don't expect anything to come about Ole Miss and what they're doing, even though they probably should.
Right.
But I do know this. The quickest way I know to be Mississippi State right now is to not go get a player like Luke Fernelli.
Right.
Guys, and not play this game. So I'm going to celebrate a new player coming to my school as opposed to disregarding the way that was done. Until the NCAA puts the guardrails in place.
Exactly. You play the game.
You play the game.
Yep.
And it is, in my opinion, it is important to be loud whenever it goes against you, because you don't want a situation where this just becomes the norm, because it's very close to just becoming the norm. Whenever stuff like this happens, you need to try to influence conversation. You need to try and get into the consciousness of people outside of your area so they can be aware of what's going on. Because honestly, that's the only way that Congress is going to act. And the only way that things get done is if Congress acts.
Exactly. And everybody knows that we need rules. Everybody knows that there needs to be salary caps and transfer limitations and all this stuff. But nobody's going to do it right now because the big money programs are doing just well with the portal. But so is Ole Miss. And it just cracks me up that, you know, if you followed, I'm a Twitteraholic, and if you followed Twitter recently, there's a handful of LSU supporters and so, you know, homers like me that have been tearing things up as far as Ole Miss goes. But, you know, if any of them are watching, I just want to tell them one thing. We're happy with who we got. You're happy with who you got, and we'll see you in September.
My favorite thing, if you listen to any of them talk, it'd be like, oh my gosh, Ole Miss is being recruited under the table. We're taking all these players from Ole Miss. It's a massacre. I mean, that is what is coming out of Baton Rouge. The reality is we have the number 2 transfer portal class in the entire nation, the higher ranked over LSU average rating per transfer gotten, and right now is the highest level that Ole Miss has ever been in the transfer portal rankings in like 10 years. And it doesn't take Einstein to do that math and realize that we were talking about Hugh Freeze there as opposed to talking about Lane Kiffin. So it is funny for what happens. The point of it is Ole Miss isn't going anywhere. And they are Trinidad Chambliss away, getting a waiver away from being a top 5 team and having the number 1 team in the Southeastern Conference, because they'll have the best quarterback, the best running back. They will have a stacked linebacker room. Their defensive line's going to be nasty, and they have rebuilt their secondary, which was their weak point this year. So Ole Miss is a tackle or two away from potentially making another special run in about 9 months. So we'll see exactly what's going on in just a second. When we come back, we will talk to the mayor of Corinth all about what is going on with Trinidad Chambliss and Cayden Lee as well. So stick around for that. The college football playoff is here, and FanDuel is giving all customers even more ways to get on the action every single day of the playoffs, because right now, every college football playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost waiting for them in the app. Here's what I love about it. You get to use the profit boost on bets you've already feeling good about. Ride with the favorite when you think a team controls the matchup. Take a shot on the underdog if you feel an upset's coming. Or build a parlay about the players and moments that you think will decide the game. Then you apply the profit boost and go after even bigger winnings. When you win, FanDuel pays out interest instantly which is perfect for playoff football. FanDuel is the best place to get in on the action all playoff long, so visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff profit boost every single game day. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Subscribe to the podcast on whichever audio podcatcher you're listening to and give it a 5-star review. It costs absolutely nothing, but it keeps all of this free. Thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network in America. You already live your team every single day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Ole Miss with no interruptions, members-only Discord action, and more, all for just $5 per month or $50 per year. Go to lockedonolemiss.supercast.com or check out the link down in the show notes to learn more. So, Tom, one thing's interesting. Trinidad Chambliss's eligibility waiver was filed in Chancery Court in Lafayette County yesterday, I believe, or Friday, I should say. And the judge hearing the case, graduate of Ole Miss Law, went to Delta State, played quarterback at Northwest Community College in the 1960s. I don't think there's any doubt that Trinidad Chambliss could have gotten a more favorable judge than what he got.
Yeah, I remember people last year when Pavia took them to court, griping and moaning and complaining. But I sure am glad that it's in Mississippi because, like Tom Morris stated, if it was national, it'd be totally different. They'd be going to court in Indianapolis and blah, blah, blah. But the NCAA just, they never did that. So I'm feeling extremely good about Trinidad being our quarterback next year.
Yeah, and it's mentioned out, and you saw it online. I think Tom Morris put this out here. Why doesn't the NCAA try to position it to go to federal court? They actually have a pretty good record in federal court. Well, the answer is they can't because they are an unincorporated corporation or whatever, unincorporated body, which means that they are a member of every member institution state. So they're a member of Mississippi, so they can't move it. They do not have that ability. Right. They have no ability to speed anything up. This is all going to come down to an injunction, which everybody I talk to thinks he's going to get.
Yep.
And here's the other part. Yesterday, I should say, Cayden Lee went into the transfer portal, and everybody's like, where's he going to go? Well, if Trinidad comes back, Cayden Lee is going to come back.
Yep.
He got into the transfer portal, so if for some reason Trinidad does not get his waiver, he's not playing with an unknown quarterback and he can go get his bag.
Right. Now, I fully go to Georgia if that's the case.
I think he goes to Missouri if that's the case. If we're going,
I didn't even think about that. Austin's up there.
Yes, and they are boys, but yeah. I don't think he wants to go anywhere.
Right.
I think this is just one of those chances. He's a 5'10", 170-pound wide receiver that for whatever reason hasn't put on any weight in all of his time in college. He probably has NFL prospects, but probably it isn't great. So he might realistically have one chance to get this bag. So he cannot screw up this year.
Exactly. I don't blame the kid one bit.
Yeah. And he's a good player, but at this point, if we're going to be honest about it, and we're going to talk in the next segment about players that have our attention moving forward, and tomorrow I'll have a live stream, or today I'll have a live stream with David Johnson technology, or, if that allows it, we will do that and kind of talk about some of the signings and the visitors and all of that stuff. But when you look at what's going on with Cayden Lee, he is the ultimate luxury player now. You don't need him to come back. You want him to come back because with the addition of Johntay Cook, that has changed the calculus completely.
Yeah. And, that's what I was telling somebody yesterday. One of my Mississippi State friends, I guess you could call him friend, is like, man, even when Chambliss comes back, y'all are cooked because you got all new receivers. I said, how many of those receivers did he throw to in 2024 that he had this year? None. You know, he's that freaking good. I'm not worried about it. And you're right. I love Cayden Lee. I love him. I think he's awesome. But we're okay at receiver. We're fine at receiver.
You know, what do you think? What do you think Ole Miss needs? How do you think Ole Miss should close this out over the next couple of weeks?
Offensive line.
A couple of tackles, obviously.
Yeah.
I would like to see a tight end.
Oh yeah. Because we only have 3 right now.
Yeah, and a backer or two. Just.
No, definitely another linebacker. I think we're set in the secondary with who we brought in and who stayed. I think we're set there.
Yeah, and the question becomes the real thing. I don't know how it pertains to what's going on, and the case hasn't been done. But where's Cedric Beavers and Raymond Collins fit in this JUCO thing with what's going on? That's a question, in my opinion, that's at least worth asking, honestly.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I haven't seen anything mentioned about the Maddox kids, whether they're staying or leaving or what.
Oh, they're staying.
Yeah.
The Maddoxes, if I understand this correctly, and there's a chance I don't. If I get it wrong, just put in the comments what I've got wrong, please. But the Pete Golding, I think, played college ball with AJ Maddox's dad. That's the relationship. Pete Golding is the relationship. So AJ Maddox and Andrew Maddox and those guys, they have a relationship with Pete Golding because their father and Pete has one.
Oh, that's good. That makes me feel good because we're going to need that kid on the defensive line too in the rotation, I think.
Yeah, and there's a bunch. There's a bunch. So we'll see exactly how it goes. Anyway, when we come back, we will talk about the transfer portal deadline, the new signings that Ole Miss got, and all of that, and where we sit right now. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert start to finish without the stress or guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employment forms, and they work to get you every single deduction. You upload your documents, you go about your day, and you get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's huge, a huge time saver, and it gives real peace of mind knowing that an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150. All in, if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit turbotax.com/local to book your local appointment today. All right, Tom, the one thing that we had the surprise yesterday, I'm a huge Johntay Cook fan. I saw him in the Under Armour All-American game whenever he was working out, whenever that was, 2022, 2023, that period there. And I was completely blown away. And in a similar way that I was when Zachariah Branch had his Under Armour performance as well. Johntay Cook was a little bit of, immature, we'll say. At the beginning, he was immature, and that cost him at Texas, and he transferred to Washington and ended up getting thrown out of Washington. But apparently he went to Syracuse and had his head screwed on right. The result was 50-something catches, about 550 yards in an offense that did not have a quarterback for 8 games of the season. So it is really interesting to see what Johntay Cook will do when he becomes a legit weapon in an offense that is designed to make a weapon like that show out.
I'm thrilled. We wanted him bad when he went to Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he visited.
Yeah. And I wasn't expecting it. What once again, people need to understand something. We've got a good offensive staff there. You know, JDB is an outstanding offensive coordinator. So
and recruiter. He got Jackson Dart to Ole Miss too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And Trigg, who's, you know, another one that goofed up, but right, you know, straightened up at Baylor. But yeah, no, we're so fortunate. We're so fortunate. This new NIL era has caused Ole Miss to be extremely competitive ever since it started.
Yeah, absolutely. And visits are going to continue as people that might be watching this video and they're not sure because of the transfer window for soccer, everything has a deadline day, everything stops on that day. Transfer portal deadline day is just the deadline to get your name in, and there's going to be players kind of easing in. Again, I expect eventually Prince Will to end up in the transfer portal as soon as LSU or Prince Will agrees to pay the buyout to Ole Miss. That's going to be the holdup in this thing.
Yeah.
If Prince Will decides to pay it, he's going to get let go and all of that stuff. But once it happens with everything that Ole Miss has, it is pretty interesting to see what they can build. I did a video also with the other wide receiver, Daryl. I forgot his last name.
The other one from
yeah, I just
Gillis?
brain. What's that?
Wasn't it Gillis?
Something like that. My brain just completely shut down for a second. I apologize. But he wore number 15. I can see him on there. He's the one that had the "you got mossed" play where he caught a ball over the defensive back. When we recorded a video for that, because yesterday there's a video about him, about that, and he was the guy, and I was like, okay, this isn't a Deshaun Stribling type player. This is a Trey Wallace type player. And then I look at it and I started thinking about it, and it's like, what type of player is Johntay? What type of player is he going to be? And the way that you look at it is John David Baker with players when he was at Ole Miss earlier. And I think the offense is going to look a little bit different. They're going to use twin little guys from time to time, crossers like that. And you're going to have Johntay Cook doing a lot of that stuff. And I'm curious to see what happens. The offense is going to stay what it was, but each offensive coordinator has plays that are his crutch plays.
Yep.
It doesn't matter which coordinator it is. Everybody has a favorite play. John David Baker's favorite play is going to be different than what Charlie Weiss Jr.'s favorite play was. And I am very, very curious to see what it looks like once they start rolling, because the personnel is there. This might be the most stacked running back room that Ole Miss has ever had. I mean, you're talking about 4 stars, 5 and 6 players deep. I mean, it is traditional blue blood level backfield for Ole Miss. I'm dead serious, and I've said it over and over. Trinidad Chambliss comes back. This is a top 5 team.
Oh, easily. Especially if we get a couple of tackles on the offensive side.
And they will. They will.
Yeah. We don't know we don't know. I hope we look at the kid, and I can't even think the school he's from now, Division II. Kid's like 6'5", 230, runs a 10.5.
Oh, he committed to Wisconsin.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, Ole Miss got the Alabama guy and they got the Oregon guy. So the D3 guy ended up going to Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to watch him because I think he may be special.
Yeah, he does have a good way up. So what do you have going on today, man?
Oh, dude, I just relaxing, just enjoying the day. Probably going to watch the Sugar Bowl rerun again just for the heck of it.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing to do.
No. Had a State fan buddy pick on me the other day about what's, we didn't make it to the finals. I said, dude, how many Sugar Bowls have you guys been to? He shut up quick.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
number 10 or 11 for us. So, yeah.
11 with 7 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Tom, I will talk to you next week, buddy, and thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy. Thanks for tuning into the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. We're going to continue talking transfer portal. Make sure you subscribe and follow the show so you can get all the latest episodes. We're on all the social channels, so check that out as well. And did Locked On Ole Miss make your socials? Is it there? Are you a member of the Everydayer Club for Ole Miss? Listen, be one of the first to join the Everydayer Club and get your favorite show ad-free and exclusive access to the members-only Discord and even more. It is unbelievably awesome. Go to lockedonolemist.supercast.com and pick out your flavor. We have Corey Burton putting in coaches' reactions for what's going on. We have Dalen Flowers talking about the events in Oxford. We have Mike Huseman talking transfer portal and coaching search. All of that. It is fantastic. For those of you on video, we're going to send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On College Football. Hotty toddy, everybody, and enjoy the fact that the acquisition period begins now that the retention period has stopped. Hotty toddy, everyone.